Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. And not to mention, if you're listening to this on our audio platforms, please give us a 5-star rating and please download this episode and more episodes. It's a full house today on the podcast, and I have some amazing guests for me. As of this recording, they are Spotify verified artists. As of this recording, they're nearing the 200,000 TikTok followers mark and 233,000 Instagram followers. So please help me welcome Emma Armstrong, Max Kaiser, Danny Morega, and Jake Biggs, also known as A Short Walk to Pluto, to the podcast.
Woo!
How's it going, Jacob? Happy to be here.
How are you guys?
We're great. Thank you for having us.
I'm very excited. You guys are one of my artists to watch for this year, and I really love your music. So thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All righty. I would love to learn how each of you got into music.
Ooh, loaded question. I guess I'll start. I've been singing for about half my life now. I'm 24. I've been singing from the age of 11. Vocal lessons started with classical music, transitioned into theater, and then I got bored of all that and wanted to do rock and roll, and here we are. Yeah.
Sorry, you're on mute, Jacob.
Oh, wonderful story. I'm sorry about that, Max. Your turn, Max.
For sure. So I picked up the guitar when I was around 11 years old. Kind of took it right out of the hands of my brother, and kind of just ran with it, I would say. And I fell in love with old dad rock bands like Rush and Zeppelin, things like that. And that's where I really kind of found my passion. And then kind of later on, I started getting into like recording, producing, learning other instruments as well. And it just kind of fueled the fire. So by the time we started this band, I kind of knew I was like destined for a life in music.
Wonderful, wonderful. Believe me, my brother Aaron and he basically took an entire piano and guitar out of my hands. And he does, and to this day, is a master virtuoso. So I totally understand where you're coming from, Max. Awesome. So Jake, what about you?
Yeah, when I was younger, I wanted to play guitar at first. My parents were like, no, piano first. I did piano for a couple years, and then guitar for a couple years, and then finally drums in like grade 8. Like I picked it up in school band, and then did some lessons, did some kind of all different genre stuff before I settled on the rock thing. I met Max in high school, so we jammed like Guns N' Roses and stuff, and that's kind of where we started.
Awesome. Danny, what about you?
Yeah, so I mean, I did the typical, that prototypical kid thing where you're putting piano lessons when you're like 6 years old, and then I picked up the upright bass when I was 14 in high school, and it was actually in a I don't know if it was like a travel band. Guys, you can remind me, but it was like some kind of trip band that I was in with Max and Jake, which is where I had originally met them, and sort of made the transition to electric bass as I was progressively playing more and more with the two of them, and then we just kind of took it from there.
Awesome. And Emma, when did you get into the picture?
When I joined the band about 3 years ago now. Max and I met through, I don't know if my Wi-Fi is being stupid, but Max and I met through mutual friends while I was in university. And we've been going strong ever since.
Awesome. So I would love to learn, who are the musicians and groups that inspired A Short Walk to Pluto's sound?
I think there's a few. I don't think you could really point to like 1, 2, even 3 groups and be like, that's the sound. I think sonically we get a lot of Rush comparisons, but we also love to listen to like the Police. Stone Temple Pilots is a huge influence in there. The Chili Peppers for sure. If you listen to like one of our songs called Hopeless, there's like very obviously a lot of Chili's in there. But then even some like other influences, from left field with like Stevie Wonder and some soul influences. I know Danny's really kind of on a soul kick right now. But then there's also like a whole other area with Emma's influences, and Emma is a huge Paramore fan. I think we all are huge Paramore fans right now. They're producing such fantastic music right now. Their last record was astounding. But Emma also is a huge Elvis, huge Alanis Morissette fan. So kind of bringing in some of those influences, and throw it into the pot, stir it all together, and I guess you come up with Short Walk to Pluto.
Great combination of artists, guys. Now I gotta ask you the question: where did the name come from?
Yeah, so I could take this. So a lot of people don't know this, but Max and I are actually engineers by training, and from the years 1982 to 1987, we were actually on the International Space Station. And it was while we were there that, we had this privilege of, looking down on Earth, and we were like, man, this place looks like awesome. This is just this big, beautiful blue marble. We were like, it's so close. It looks like it's so close, but you almost just want to reach and grab it. It's like, it's just a short walk down to Earth there, man. And then Max turns to me and goes, yo, dude, what about Pluto, man? Now that's a short little trip right there. And so
we're not under the influence at this point, by the way.
No, yeah, this is just normal behavior. And so then we were like, yeah, that should be the name of the band. And so that's how it came up. Was we were engineers on the International Space Station.
Man, I miss the 80s.
I miss the 80s, dude. That was some good times. Good stuff going on in the 80s.
Oh my God! I gotta say this: if that story was true, if it was 1988, I was born. So, born 1988, September 30th.
We're actually 65. We're 65 years old. We just look really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you guys would make really great if you're say for 65.
Yeah.
Our
secret is
vampires.
Carrots. Eat lots of carrots. I was just about to say that, man.
Alrighty. So I gotta get this. So I would love to talk to you about, as I mentioned at the beginning of the conversation, that you were able to successfully harness social media. So what have been some of the strategies that this group has used to build that Instagram and that TikTok following?
The biggest strategy was learning how to do really quick, professional sounding recordings. And there's a unit to my right now that is the brains of the operation. It's a big mixing inner monitoring rack that we use to record videos of us performing. So because of this, and learning how to use the DAWs and plugins and all that kind of stuff, we can record all of us at the same time with a full studio mic, drum set, a whole bunch of auxiliary instruments. You can do it all. Set up an iPhone and record us playing well. And then super easy to just transfer that audio, export, put it on the video, put it up on Instagram. So doing that 1 to 2 times a day, kind of solidified our brand, and doing that with covers allowed a lot of different people to connect with the kind of sound that we were going for, and help transition it once we were kind of done with the covers to our original music now. So that was really the secret sauce to social media success with our band.
That's incredible. I gotta say this: you actually have been on one of my all-time favorite people who comes to media, North American media, a certain king of all media, Mr. Howard Stern. So one of the biggest moments for you guys was when you received the stamp of approval from one of the greatest media masters of modern day. So what did it mean to get that recognition from Howard Stern?
Who found out about that first? Someone in the group chat went off about that.
Well, yeah, because people were just messaging our Instagram. Like a lot of our fans are like bombing our inbox. It was cool. And then I sent him a follow-up, and he never responded. So
yes, he did.
No, he didn't. He read it and didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, he talked about it on the show. It was really cool to have someone with that much influence say such kind words to us. Like, it's, yes, we're covering one of his favorite songs, but to know that we did that song so much justice that he had to step in and say something, it's amazing. It's cool what social media can do and the things that you can, kind of get with it. So yeah, I was very excited.
I asked to play his birthday party and he didn't say anything. So Howard, if you're listening, I'm watching.
Alrighty. I really hope that the Stern show listens to this and say, put it in the universe. I would love to see you guys in the Sirius XM studio.
That'd be cool.
That's a dream right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We can put it out in the universe. Let's just put it out in the universe.
Yeah, they do great recordings in that studio.
Their
They
sound
sound
engineers
fantastic.
are so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, I gotta say this. I remember listening to Billy Joel when he was for the Serum show years ago for that legendary interview. Still one of my favorite interviews that he's done. So, but however, we're not here to talk about Mr. Stern or Mr. Billy Joel. We're here to talk about A Short Walk to Pluto. So, guys, let's talk about the stories behind some of my favorite songs and some of the most streamed. So let's start with your latest single, Nothing to Fear, which as of this recording is closing in on 5,000 streams on Spotify.
Yeah, I mean, I could speak to it a little bit. Like Max was, writing this really neat, finger picked style guitar riff for a little while, and it was screaming kind of acoustic, folky kind of ballad. And he had this idea of doing like this sort of landslide style thing, like Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, kind of pulling the inspiration from that song into this one here. And I guess lyrically, I kind of drove off of, the idea of, moving on from the things that you love most to pursue what you're absolutely passionate about. And for some people, that's music. For some people, that's, any other facet of life. But that was sort of the meaning and the intention behind the song.
Wonderful. And I got to say, I had the pleasure of seeing Fleetwood Mac 3 different times. And Landslide was always a highlight. And Emma, those vocals on that were amazing.
Thank you. It's a little different than what I'm used to, which, I try not to do the country voice so much. I get compared to a country singer all the time. And that one was a little bit more of that twangy kind of element. And I agree. I think it came out really well, recording, the music, everything. So yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're so welcome. And guys, I love your cover of Everybody Wants to Rule the World. That is amazing. It's almost at 22,000 Spotify streams. So how did you I would love to learn how you got that arrangement.
So I remember when we knew we wanted to do a cover. We didn't really know which one. There was a lot of criteria that it needed to meet. But when I listened to this song, right about a year before it came out, it kind of had all the hallmarks of what could be a good rock song. And it almost reminded me of something that I would write. Like it had that in the instrumentation, the chord progression. It appealed to me. So I came up with some ideas on the arrangement, with kind of how we would use the instrumentation. How can we adjust it for Emma's vocal? Are there any lyrical parts? And we were like, okay, well, at the same time, we also got to cut a chorus here because I think there's like 5 or 6 choruses in the song. So we decided to cut a chorus. We did a really cool feel change. At the end of the song, going into some drum fills, we switched up some synth parts for saxophone. I changed the guitar solo. There was a lot of things going on, but what we didn't want to lose was what made that song special, which is the atmosphere and the feel. Really are the hallmarks of that song, but kind of taking it away from like the 80s synth pop and making it more of a modern rock song.
I agree. I could definitely see that on several iHeart and Spotify playlists because you did a wonderful job making sure that it was that honored, because your version, Tears for Fears version, and Lana Del Rey's version and Lord's version remind me of my favorite versions of that song.
It's awesome. Some crazy names to be compared to, but thank you.
All righty. Let's talk about an original, Mary's Paper Boat, which is at 32,600 Spotify streams as of this recording.
Yeah, I could speak to that a little bit again. That was a song that we had written back in this is close to when I think I had just graduated high school. We had just started the band. This is honestly the song even predates Emma for that matter. Yeah, it's a song about, like your kind of your first experience with love, your first experience with heartbreak. And it was a fun one to play then. It's certainly fun to play now. And it's one that I think continues to resonate with our audiences. We really enjoy kind of the crowd reaction each time we play it. Every time Max hits that crazy guitar solo, it's a really fun experience.
Awesome. I bet I gotta say, if you guys come to Kansas City or in the Midwest United States, let me know. I would love to see you guys perform live.
All right. Well, we'll make sure that happens.
That has probably been in every single live show we've ever played, that song.
I don't think they've been taken out once. Yeah, not once has it been taken out. I don't think.
That's amazing. What a streak.
Yeah, I think if we have, it's like that's been like a bad show. It's usually bad luck to take Mary's out of the set.
Oh yeah. Alrighty. Thank you. Thankfully, Mary has the place. So let's talk about Phantom Lover. 57, nearly at 58,000 Spotify streams.
Yeah, that one's my favorite. When so they had that song kind of not done, but they had started working on it before I joined. And it was actually one of the reasons that I was so drawn to being a part of this band. It was really fun, super rocky. You can hear it over like a Ford Focus commercial, or what of the Ford truck commercial. And yeah, like when we first started, not Ford Focus, those are like the little cars. I'm talking about the trucks. You can hear it over a Ford truck commercial. But yeah, when I like first kind of started talking to them about like the music video, I had the exact same idea as Jake, and Jake had this like really fun idea that I think Jake should talk about.
Oh, like the old-timey jazz bar. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like this song like needs like black and white, needs to be old, needs to be this. And Jake was like, that was the exact same idea. So it was kind of, meant to happen. That music video was fun to shoot.
And great minds think alike.
Very much.
All righty. The last song I want to talk to you guys about is You're Not the Only One at 68,000 Spotify streams.
Yeah, that song is super fun to play. That always kind of ends out our set. That's our encore song. I think that song really helped us figure out our sound, especially over the past few years. That was working in a new studio. That song came together really easily. I remember writing out the parts and the arrangement way back, and then started jamming it with Danny, and Danny just like improvised the chorus with the hook, You're Not the Only One, like right there in front of me. I was like, oh, stop, do that again. And we kept repeating it until it sunk in, and then boom, there's the song. And yeah, that was a really fun one to record. I don't know, Emma, if you want to talk a little bit about like the lyrics and some meaning behind that.
Yes. Yeah, so I was in a really shitty love triangle. And so that song is about that. I had an ex-boyfriend try to come back into my life and essentially try to break up my current relationship. So those lyrics are it's me telling him like, you're not the only one that I love, you're not the only one that I see, you're not the only one that I care about. I have this person that I love and I care for, and you are not that person anymore. So bye-bye kind of story. So yeah, true stories, it happens, man.
Absolutely. Definitely sounds like a pager from a soap opera.
Yeah, a little bit.
Alrighty, guys. So who are your dream collaborators, the singers, the songwriters, the musicians and producers, and how would they enhance your sound? So do all four of you have different like dream ideal collaborators?
Yeah,
That's a great question.
I'd probably want to go with, there's a bunch of options here, but maybe like a Brendan O'Brien kind of producer. He's done so many legendary bands. Like some of my favorite records, especially of the 90s, were Brendan Productions. And to kind of talk to him about like some of the stories he might have with like Black Crowes, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, to name just a couple. Would be really fun. But then also like I really love his drum sounds, and I think he's the master of like the modern rock drum sound. So being able to kind of set up some drums and work with him on crafting that sound would be fantastic. So he would probably be like a dream producer to work with one day.
I'd probably go someone more
Awesome.
modern because we're really bad at figuring out modern sounds.
Hmm.
Like us. Like maybe Mark Ronson or Andrew Watt.
That'd be
Carlos
cool.
de la Garza did Paramore's last one, and he did like some cool other modern stuff. He'd be cool. And then Andrew Watt did the Stones' latest album, which I thought sounded
Oh yeah,
crazy good. Like
I
Oh, it
love
sounds so
Andrew
good.
Watt. He is so
yeah,
amazing.
and he's
Like
like and he's
his
got so many
Ozzy and Post
connections.
Malone stuff and Elton
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah. He's great.
I just want to sing with Haley Williams and Lady Gaga. Those are my two. I just want to like hang out with those two. I think it'd be fun.
Taylor York's
Very
a
chaotic.
producer. We can work with Taylor York. There you go.
I would work with Taylor York.
Yeah, he
Her
does some producing.
fabulous little boyfriend. Yeah.
I gotta back up Jake on the Mark Ronson thing. What
Yeah,
an
he's the
absolute
best.
unit of a producer.
Yeah.
And then also love to play bass with Alicia Keys. That would be kind of lit. She's kind of fire. So I think Max mentioned before, I've been on a little bit of like a soul like binge recently. So shout out Alicia Keys for being Alicia Keys.
I agree. Those are some amazing stuff. I gotta say, any one of them, but like the producers that really stuck out for me are Mark Ronson and Andrew Watt. Both of them are two of my all-time favorites. So I really would love to see what possibilities you guys have with that.
Pretty cool.
Awesome. So we gotta start winding down our conversation. So guys, where can my audience find your music and find you guys on social media?
Type in A Short Walk to Pluto.
You can find
And
it
we will
right
come
here
up.
on CD and vinyl. Right now.
Oh wow.
In my
no,
bedroom.
No,
I have to sell it in person. In the back of my
If you
car.
want to
Jake's
come
side
see us
hustle.
in
I'll drive
person,
to you. I'll drive to you and give you a CD.
Hey, we used to do that with T-shirts, man. Don't
did.
forget. We used to like act, and then thanks, Canada Post for hooking us up. But yeah, it was formerly a lot of just meeting people and delivering shirts. So
Yeah.
but yeah, anyways, back to your original question. Google us and you will find us everywhere. We have Spotify. We have our website, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Wherever you get media, we're probably on there somewhere. So,
Oh yeah.
Awesome. So guys, haven't missed an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast. Visit our channels on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Podchaser, Spotify, and Spreaker. Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOB Now, are you on social media? I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and YouTube. Jacob Elyachar, JACOB And guys, want to find out what's going on with America's Got Talent? Who won the Masked Singer? And also want to see my reviews of A Short Walk to Pluto's music? Visit jakes-shake.com. Once again, jakes-shake.com. Guys, Max, Emma, Jake, and Danny, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me today. I really hope I know this is going to be a great, 2024 is going to be a great year for you guys. And I cannot wait to see you guys, what you guys do next.
thank you so much, Jacob.
Awesome. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a great one, everybody. Goodbye.